Joining me now is Patrice Willoughby, the Chief of Policy and Legislative Affairs for the NAACP. Patrice, thank you very much. Welcome. I know that Marco Rubio, one of his first actions as Secretary of State was to cancel DEI activities in the State Department because it is government-wide. That was a touchstone of former Secretary of State Tony Blinken. So it's everywhere, and people working on this issue as of 5 o'clock the other night were told to be on paid leave. And that's a bit ominous because they don't know what that really means. Is that the beginning of a civil service action to try to have them, removed? What do you know? What is the NAACP able to do?
Andrea, thank you so much for inviting me to speak today. This is a period of extreme chaos that federal workers are experiencing. But more importantly, the executive order signed by the president indicates a radical shift in our American values, which have recognized that discrimination in federal employment, hiring, and in the provision of services is unacceptable. So we don't know exactly what the heads of agencies have been told, but the executive order, by not giving specific instructions and just putting people on paid leave, casts a lot of chaos into the work of a very trained and effective workforce, which is going to have a lot of detrimental effects on the American people.
It seems to me that at first it sounded like a lot of what we saw 4 years ago, 5 years ago, starting in Florida, then spreading elsewhere throughout the MAGA movement. Now it seems to be going a lot deeper by canceling an LBJ order, which really transformed federal hiring practices, not just among federal workers, but also contractors.
Well, yes, absolutely, because DEI programs don't guarantee outcomes, but they do provide a way for underrepresented groups to have opportunity. The executive order from the 60s was issued in recognition that the effects of racism, whether they're intended or unintended, have a negative effect on allowing opportunity to everyone in the country. And so by overturning that executive order, it is really sending a tacit message that discrimination is fine, where we know that the needs of the American people require the best minds from everywhere. The executive order incorrectly frames DEI as putting people who are unqualified at the top of the line. And that is the rhetoric that has been used over 60 years to attack these programs. This didn't just start. It is a 60-year plan to erode, first in the federal government, teaching about racism and sexism, and then also now overturning efforts to find the most qualified people, even among underrepresented groups.
Patrice Willoughby, this is just the beginning of a whole new chapter. We'll be obviously following this closely. Thank you.